So here we have book recommendations, and this is fairly newish from Amazon. And what it allows you to do is recommend books from other authors and recommend your own books. So it's quite a nifty little tool, and I'll just share with you why that is. But firstly, I'll just share what will happen. So what happens when you click here, create recommendation, you will be taken to this screen, and you'll see that there are two options. You've got books by others and books I've written. So you have an opportunity here to recommend other authors' books. So books that you've read, or, authors that you may want to recommend and give a bit of a boost. We'll leave it to you as to how you use this. You can use this in many ways. I dare say that there are authors also possibly being paid for their recommendation for this. But once again, you can be as creative as you want to be as to how you use this particular recommendation. So books by others, you have these series of questions, and what you can do is recommend a book. You can only recommend a book once. So you want to make sure that the book that you've chosen is the best fit for this question. So let's say you pick out 5 books that you want to recommend, then you would want to just kind of match and just check that, the first book really, would fit in here, or would it be best placed in this question? Because once you've recommended the book, you can't change the question that you've recommended it on. However, you can delete it. So just keep that in mind, and you can edit, but it will always stay within this question. So it's literally then you just come over, you select the book. Typically when it's someone else's book, I would always search with the ASIN because that makes sure that you get the right book. But you can search by title, you can search by author. So this is an opportunity for you just to share with other people what you are reading. Now, what can happen is your recommendations can show up on your author page, and they can actually show up on the Amazon website. They just show up randomly all over the place. So Amazon are kind of working in where they show it on the website, but it can show up on your author page, and it can show up on a book page. Not always. And what they do say is that once you've reviewed and submitted 3 recommendations, they then will, and I like the wording, they will consider sending your recommendations to your followers through email or push notifications. So this really is a good way for you to reach your followers. So if you recommend 3 books, that's when Amazon will then kick in and send out an email, say to all your followers, and say, these are the books that's been recommended by such and such and such. Now, you may not feel comfortable recommending other authors' books. You need to be mindful about, does the branding match? The story's a good fit for your stories, that sort of thing. Is that author a good quality author, or, because you don't want to get mixed up in drama or anything like that. So the other tab that I think is really useful here, and all of you should be using, is the books I've written tab. So you have 4 options here, and you get to recommend one of your own books. This is where you get to talk about your book and the things. So, what's your most talked about book? So you could put in here a book that doesn't necessarily have to be the most talked about, but it could be your favorite book, or the one that has the most meaning for you, and that's what you would talk about in here. So it has, you can just select the book and it will appear under that question. You can also add notes. The notes part is optional. You don't have to do that. But I would say, just to help you build that relationship, I would include some notes in there about, why this is your favorite book or your most talked about book, or, why is this the book you wish more readers, knew about? What book should readers start with, and what's a book readers can get lost in? Now, these questions can all be hard because it may well be that they can get lost in all of your books, or your most talked about, maybe all your books are talked about. Whatever it is, pick the ones that you think are going to convert best into sales. So go with the ones that will have kind of the biggest bang for the buck with these recommendations. So remembering you do need to do 3 recommendations. Amazon will approve them. They say they go through manually and look at all the recommendations before they make them public. There is a criteria of things you can and can't say. And I've also linked that in the worksheet so that you can see, what you can put with your recommendations. So if nothing else in the book recommendations section, I would say fill out the books I've written part. If you answer all 4 of these questions, chances are that Amazon may send an email out with your responses to your followers. Now, depending on how many followers you have, that's probably the only way that you're going to get in front of them, in email form, because we don't know who our Amazon followers are. Only Amazon does. So this is a really great way to tap into their email list, for want of a better word, for your content in your books. So I hope that's a really good one that you haven't been aware of. And if you have and haven't done it, then now's the time to take some action on that one. And who doesn't love talking about your own books? Oh, yeah, goodness.
Liked what you saw? Hit that like and subscribe button so that you can stay connected and we can share with you more great author strategies to sell more books.